Hello everybody, welcome to Learn the Lingo. My name is Matthew, and this is the first in a series of videos in which we are going to learn to read Hebrew. Today, we're going to take a look at everything we need to know to read Hebrew and start learning a few of those things right away. The most important thing we need to know in order to read Hebrew is, of course, the Hebrew alphabet, which is called the Aleph-bet. This is it here. It's made up of 22 letters as opposed to the English alphabet, which has 26. If you count all the letters here, there are actually 27. 5 of these letters have what are called final forms, which is how they look when they are the last letter in a word. So these 22 letters plus those 5 final forms make 27 different symbols in the alphabet. Something else you need to know about the alphabet is that none of its letters always act as vowels, like A, E, I, O, and U do in English. However, there are a few letters in the alphabet that act like our letter Y, which can act as both a consonant and a vowel. But even with those 3 letters, not every vowel sound in spoken Hebrew can be represented with the alphabet. So, you're probably wondering, how can you read Hebrew aloud without knowing which vowels to use? Well, don't worry. To make it easier to pronounce written Hebrew, a system of vowels was invented and put into the Hebrew Bible so it could be easily read aloud. And that system is still used today. The vowels are these special markings that are used with the letters. Now, these look like a lot of markings, so let's break things down. First off, the vowels are, as you can see, lines and dots that usually go on the bottom of the letters, though some go on top or on the side. Some of these vowels use some of the letters that are like our letter Y, which can be both a consonant and a vowel. Like I said, these are a lot of markings, but many of them make the same sound as another vowel does. For example, this vowel makes the same sound as this vowel, which is in one of the letters that can be a consonant or a vowel. So there's not as many vowel sounds as there are vowel markings. Also, these markings at the bottom are not vowel sounds, but help you with other pronunciations that cannot be shown with only the alphabet. So, that's the vowel system we'll be learning along with the alphabet. You can find this system in the Hebrew Bible and also in prayer and children's books. But most Hebrew books don't have these markings, since if you're a Hebrew speaker, it's usually pretty easy to know how to pronounce a word only with the consonants, since you know the sounds of your language very well. But we are just starting to learn Hebrew, so we are going to learn and use these vowels along with the alphabet, so everything is easier to read, and you can learn the sounds of the Hebrew language more efficiently. Besides learning these 22 letters and the vowel system, we'll also see lots of words that use them so you can hear how the letters sound in a word and also begin building your Hebrew vocabulary. So, how about we jump right in today by learning 2 letters and 1 vowel, which you'll be able to use to read a couple words right away. Let's start with the first letter of the Aleph-bet, which is Aleph. Aleph looks kind of like a letter X, except these 2 lines are not connected to each other and are also curved. The letter Aleph is a silent letter. It makes no sound by itself, but we can put a vowel marking on it to make that vowel's sound. The vowel we'll learn today is called the Qamatz. It's a line with a little drop coming down from it, and it goes underneath a letter. The sound the Qamatz makes is ah, which we will write in English as just the letter A. Let's read aloud what we have written here. The way the Qamatz works is it goes under a letter and makes its ah sound after the letter's sound. That means we start with the Aleph sound, which is no sound, it's a silent letter. Then the Qamatz makes its ah sound. So together, the 2 simply have that ah sound from the Qamatz. And now let's learn the second letter of the Aleph-bet, which is bet. Bet makes 2 sounds, b and v. So how can we know what sound to make when we see a bet? we use this dot in the middle of the letter, called a Dagesh. If there is a Dagesh, bet says b, and if there is no Dagesh, it says v. Maybe you can think of it this way. The Dagesh looks like a button, b, button for the b sound. Now that we know these two letters, Aleph and Bet, and the vowel Qamatz, how about we make a few words? But before we begin, you need to know that Hebrew is written differently than English. In English, we write from left to right. But in Hebrew, they write from right to left. So, the first letter of a word will be on the right side of the page. Let's make a word that starts with the letter Bet, which goes on the right side since it's the first letter in the word. Inside the Bet, we are going to put a Dagesh. So, what sound does the Bet make with the Dagesh? That's right, it's the B sound. Next, under the Bet, we'll put a Qamatz. Remember, the vowel sound comes after the sound of the letter it is under. So first we say b from the Bet, and then a from the Qamatz. The last letter of this word is Aleph, which we will put to the left of the Bet, since Hebrew goes from right to left. Aleph is silent, so we won't get any sound from it. Let's sound the whole word out. Bet with Dagesh, b, Qamatz, a, silent Aleph. B, a, ba, which means comes. Let's finish by switching the letters around. This time we're going to start with the letter Aleph on the right side of the page. Aleph is silent, and under it we are going to put a Qamatz, which says ah. Next, we're going to put a Bet. This Bet does not have a Dagesh, so the sound it makes is v. Silent Aleph, Qamatz, ah, Bet without Dagesh, v, av, which means father. And that's all for today. In this video, we learned the letters Aleph and Bet. We also learned the vowel Qamatz, and were introduced to the Dagesh. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications so you can know when I make a new video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and shared it with your friends who you think would like to learn Hebrew. Goodbye.